is my boyfriend Ryan. You can ask me questions to help me stay on track.
Yeah, my ADD. Hey everyone, here's my second video log, 11-week out update. It's my boyfriend Ryan, for everyone who doesn't know, and he'll be here to keep me on track with my question.
I'm the official sticky note holder.
Sticky note, yeah. So I wanted to go over, I got a really good response from the last videos, which didn't really know what to expect, so thank you everyone. It was really, everything was super positive, so that was awesome. And some people gave suggestions, which was even better. So I kind of wanted to do, like I said, a recap of the week and how everything has kind of gone with prep. Mm-hmm. So first thing, Friday was 11 weeks out, right? And I usually do 2 updates a week with Lane, Wednesday and Saturday. So Wednesday was the first time that we cut food so far. So that was 3.5 weeks on the diet? Yeah, so that was 3.5 weeks on the diet, and I hadn't made any drops. And then we made a change on Wednesday. So.
And also going to how your day was.
Oh, Wednesday was awful. So Wednesday was really tough because the day before I had done HIIT and I lifted. I'd stayed up, had a lot of work to do, so I stayed up kind of late. Didn't really get to sleep a lot because I had to be at school really early. I slept 5 hours. I was at school for about 8 hours doing work with my advisor. And then I came home and I had to have, I hadn't had a lot to eat, so that was kind of hard anyway. I had a lot of work with my clients to do, and then I had posing lessons that night. So I tried to take a nap and was like, okay, I'm going to do HIIT later. But that didn't happen, which is okay because I'm at the point where I know that I would have had, it's more than just pushing through, oh, okay, I would have been, is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah. I would have had a really shitty HIIT session. So instead, I just did HIIT and lifted again on Thursday. So that's not necessarily how I usually do it or ideal.
You're going with the flow though.
Yeah.
So you had a tough day. You got everything you needed to get done, just not necessarily how it was written out on paper that you would have originally liked to do.
Yeah. Which is fine because I think if you don't have that kind of flexibility, then you're either going to have poor training sessions or you're just going to end up hating what you're doing.
You're going to sacrifice something.
Yeah, something has to give. So I actually had a really good workout the next day, so that was awesome. So I kind of wanted to make that point, we all have a schedule that we like to stick to, and there's a difference of pushing through, okay, I'm tired, I'm sore, I'm hungry, I don't want to do this, versus reevaluating your day and everything that's gone into it, and just kind of structuring your schedule based around that. I try to lift, I try to do everything, Monday through Friday, just, but that doesn't usually work. So, just kind of go with the flow, but don't skip out because, you're just trying to
don't look for excuses.
Yeah, don't look for excuses, but reschedule when you need to.
Dropping food Wednesday?
Yeah, so we dropped the food Wednesday, and I wanted to make a point on that because, 3.5 weeks, I'd already been into prep, and I had stayed with those numbers. So sometimes I stay at numbers for a good amount of time, and I progressively drop. But then other times you have to make changes more frequently. So I kind of want to make that point to people that don't think everything has to be in a super linear fashion and don't think that everything has to happen the same way every time you prep. Because I've had preps where, we have to drop, every week or so, and then there's sometimes where you just kind of ride it out and you keep making progress on whatever you're doing. So I'll use one of my clients as an example is that, hey, if you're watching this. So her body is very tricky, off season, kind of reversing and during prep. So we really have to, no matter if it's adding or subtracting food, we have to kind of really play with the amounts of carbs and fats, and every time because her body will literally adjust to anything. So a lot of, for the last time she was cutting for a meet.
Yeah, you got her to sit around, 2 or 3 pounds off the weight,
yeah,
a couple weeks out.
A couple weeks out, which is where I wanted her, so we didn't have to really do a big drastic thing. But the beginning was a grind, and there were a lot of weeks where she wasn't really seeing progress, and we would have to change. We would have to drop food every, week. And then towards the end, which is kind of what I expected, knowing I've worked with her for a very long time, so I know that. And I know that's frustrating to a lot of people, but that's just kind of how it works sometimes. But then the last few weeks, she just kind of kept dropping. So once you get kind of under that like uncomfortable set point, sometimes I think your body just like starts losing the weight. So it's really interdependent on every client and every metabolism and every situation. So don't take anything super structured.
Yeah, it's never gonna be the same prep.
No,
So,
never gonna be the same prep.
No matter if you have the same coach, the same meet coming up that you do every year,
Yeah.
the same show, it's always gonna be different.
Yeah, same amount of time, same everything. Oh, I did everything. No, it can really, really vary, and that's kind of like what's going on with your life. It's how you handle your metabolism off season. Like everything that you're doing plays into this.
Stress. I mean, stress isn't just accumulated in the gym.
Yeah.
Stress is much larger.
Everything we do. So yeah, I kind of wanted to go over those two main points, and I really think it's important that everyone. Is this the coach? Every coach has a coach.
Yeah.
Kind of part.
Yeah. Tie back in.
So we wanted to like kind of tie that all into, you know, I coach, but I have a coach. I've always worked with Lane. Lane has a coach. You know, most people, even if you are a coach, you have another set of eyes on you. It's not necessarily that you need someone to tell you exactly what to do, but you just need that.
Sometimes you know what to do, and you're just going to make it harder on yourself than you need to, when that's not necessarily the right answer.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing, but you're not listening to your own advice. So
Yeah.
that's usually the biggest thing. Like,
I don't even know that.
she knows what she's doing all the time, but when it comes to her prep, I have to go back and on rewind and see what she would do to somebody else and reinforce that and yell at her and tell her like she shouldn't be doing what she's doing. And I'm kind of that logic that's always there, that's around her, but she also has Lane that reiterates the same thing that I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
it really helps
you
to
always
have.
need other people to help you,
And I mean,
even if you're experienced.
You've been to so many of my shows, and you've been through so many of my preps, so that you kind of know how things fall into place and where they should be. And you need somebody who will tell you, like, if I'm not ready, he would say something. It's not like he's always saying, like, oh yeah, you look, like, it has to be a very, not sugar-coated type of response. So you always want those kind of eyes on you. Yeah, not a biased, like, oh, you look great, babe, kind of opinion.
But she does look great. Always.
You know what I mean. So yeah, that was kind of really what I wanted to go over this. That's kind of the week for me. Just, you know, the normal stuff. And then those were kind of some key points that I thought were good to go over for this. So yeah, hopefully everyone liked this one, because I got a lot of really good, like, oh, make another one, I want to see how the week's going. So that's kind of exciting. Trying to still learn how to talk on camera, look at the camera, not talk with my hands. It's kind of like just hanging out on my couch. So hopefully everybody liked this. I tried to make one while I was driving, and the thing kept like flying off and hitting me. So that, no car videos.
We're staying in a safe
environment. Still no WordPress, because screw that. But I will keep posting videos, because that seems to be a lot easier for me. So thank you everyone for watching, and I hope everyone has another kick-ass week. Bye! Yay!